Hello and welcome to the Stamp Camp. I'm Glenda Calkins, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I am going to be showing you a one-sheet wonder. It's Thursday night. That means it's one-sheet wonder time. I am going to be using the Countryside and Designer Series paper, and I'm going to show you how to get 7 cards out of just one 12 by 12 sheet. Let's change the camera and get started. All right, so I have my son Dean here helping me today, so we make sure that the audio is going good and that we don't lose the picture, don't lose the audio, so we should be good tonight. I am going to be using the Countryside and Designer Series paper. It is part of a suite in the new annual catalog. It is double-sided gorgeousness of all blues. If you are a blue fan, you are going to love this paper pack. I'm going to be using this sheet right here, which has the navy on the back. When you do these cards, you're going to want a pattern that can go in any direction and that you like the back side as well as the front and that they coordinate. This is the perfect piece. I'm going to be using the Go-To Greetings sentiment stamp set. I love this stamp set. I encourage you to order it if it is not in your stamp room because it has a variety of sizes, sentiments, as well as different fonts that in the set. So it is an awesome set. The paper coordinates with the Countryside Countryside Corners bundles. You got the stamp set, and then you have the different size framelets, I call them, but it's dies that go with the stamp. And then it also has the Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. So we're going to be using all this stuff tonight. Let's get started. I need my cutter. Dean's probably thinking, let's make it as quick. So I'm going to try to do it as quick as I can. We're going to take this 12 by 12 and we're going to cut this 4 by 12. So we're going to cut actually 3 sheets that are 4 by 12. So 4 by 12, 4 by 12. When Dean was younger, he used to be my cameraman. So if you used to watch me back in the day, Dean was my video guy. So I just want to make sure that my sheet ends up 4 by 12, and usually your 12 by 12 is just a little bit longer, so I cut that off. So we're going to start with our first strip that is 4 by 12, and we're going to cut that at 5 1/4. I'm going to set that aside. That's going to be card number 1. Card number 2, or actually it's going to be number 7. I'm going to put that at 5 1/4. And then, so this piece goes on card number 7. I'm actually going to be using this side. And then this piece here, I believe, is card number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are a Stamp Camp at Home Card Club member, you will receive the pattern download for today's 12 by 12 one sheet wonder, as well as the measurements for all the cards. Now, if you are not familiar with my Stamp Camp at Home Card Club, make sure that you click on the link under the video and it will bring you to a blog post that tells you all about my club. Today is the last day to subscribe and get this month's Countryside and Club kit. All right, so let's start with this piece. This was the top piece. It is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to cut this in 1-inch strips. So we're going to get 4 1-inch strips out of this piece. All right. So let's bring in our card base. Now our card base is Night of Navy, and this is 5 1/2 by 11. And then we're going to score this at 1 1/4, 3 3/8, 7 5/8, and 9 3/4. All right, so now let's fold on those score lines. Let me grab my glasses here because it's dark navy cardstock. It's a little harder to see. So I folded it at that score line there, which was at the 3 3/8. And then I'm going to score this one back towards that score line. Make sure that you burnish those really well. And I'm going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. Line up top and bottom so that it lines up, and then flip that piece back and burnish that really well. So now we should have like this. Now you're going to take your strips, and you don't have to keep them in order. You can if you like, but I don't think it really matters. And we're going to take the first strip and we're going to line it up along the side here with a little bit showing like that. And then we're going to take this strip and we're going to place it on this front flap here, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adhere that down. And then we're going to do the same to this side. I'm going to take a strip and we're going to line that up just like that. And we're going to take our last strip, fold that back, and we're going to place that just like that. And we're going to secure that one down like so. So now we have, you can either do it this way, vertically, or horizontally. So then for the inside, I just have a piece of our basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to stick that on the inside. If you have any leftovers, which I won't with this 12 by 12 sheet, but there's lots of other prints that would coordinate with it, you could put that on the inside. Now what I did was I took the dies from the Countryside Blooms. I call these framelets. These are the Countryside Corners dies, sorry. And I have the Night of Navy and then the Go-To Greetings for the Night of Navy Sentiment. And then I just did a little row of the dimensionals across the top. And we're going to place this in the center here, like so. So it opens up like that. And then I'm going to use the boho blue gems or dots. These are an in color this year, so a new in color, but they go perfect with this paper. I'm just going to take a couple of those dots and place them on the sentiment. So there you go. That's card number 1. Now I'm going to take the next strip and we are going to cut this at 2 inches by 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And you're going to take this 2-inch strip and cut that one at 5 1/4 and at 5 1/4. Save those because that's coming up on another card. All right, so for the first one, my card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and this is the Misty Moonlight, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So we're gonna fold that on that score line, just like that. We have a piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to take 2 of those strips. Now we're going to flip one strip and attach it to the top, and the other one is going to go just like that. So we're going to attach those to that piece of white. And if you use the liquid glue, it makes this a little bit easier because it allows you to kind of push and move that paper around, but I did not do that, so we'll see how we can do like this. I'm not worried about getting that paper lined meeting at the center. I would rather have it covering the white on the sides and the bottom. See, this is where that liquid glue would be a little bit nicer because I had a little bit of that white showing on the right hand side there. That's much better. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to take my adhesive and run it right down where they meet. And I'm out. See, I went a little bit short at that, but that's okay. We'll just take our scissors and trim that down. Probably would have been easier to put it in my trimmer, but that's okay. Now we're going to take that gorgeous ribbon that is also part of the suite. It is the Misty Moonlight Braided. And I just want to make sure that that's lined up. We're going to flip that over, cut that, put some adhesive on the back here, and flip those just like that. Perfect. Now we're going to take our adhesive again. I like to put adhesive on that ribbon so I know it's secure. And then we're going to place that on our card base, just like so. Now, for the sentiment on this one, I took the stamp set, which is the Countryside Corners. Now, this is one big stamp set, and you get all these little intricate stamped images. Then I took the dies, and I die cut the one that I wanted, which was, I'm not going to use that part, but I just wanted this little strip right here. So that's where I took the two. This was in the center, and this is my strip. So you can use all the different dies to cut out all those different designs. Really cool. So once I die cut out the image I wanted, I took our foam adhesive strips and I went around the image. This way it's going to pop it up, and I didn't have to monkey with the little dimensionals. The strips work awesome. I cut a bigger piece of the Misty Moonlight using the dies, and that's going to be stuck on there. And then I stamped a sentiment. Can you either do just a note, or I have thank you. So either one. So let's get this assembled. Just a fun and different way to use those framelits. Take all the papers off the back of my strips here. Then I just need to center that. Dean, if you want to make sure that I don't get my big fat head in the camera, that would be good, because I tend to do that sometimes. All right, so now we're going to place this across the center, like so. That looks lined up. And I think I'll do just a note. Now on this one I did use the Night of Navy ink, but you can do Night of Navy, the Misty Moonlight, any of the blues, like that. And then I'm going to come in with those gorgeous boho blue dots, little accent, whoops. And then again on the inside you would add a piece of that basic white, and then you can accent it with some more of the paper from the pack, whatever you would like. Maybe there's a flower image that you wanted to use, anything to decorate your inside. That's card number 2. Card number 3 is very similar to card number 2. We're going to just change it up a bit. It is, again, the Misty Moonlight, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to take one of those basic white, which is 4 by 5 1/4. This time we're going to attach the same piece. So I'm not going to worry about that strip. I'm not going to worry about them lining up. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to wing it again with my adhesive instead of the liquid glue and see if I can do good. Now you can flip it again, but this time I thought I would do the same print. There we go. Again, you're going to run your adhesive down that centerpiece, and you're going to come in with that gorgeous ribbon again. Place that across that, flip it over, cut that, put your adhesive on your back, place that ribbon just like that, and then it is ready to be attached to your card front. Just like that. Now I've already went ahead and die cut and stamped another one of those gorgeous framelits with the Misty Moonlight, and this time I did use the Misty Moonlight ink. We're going to put it towards the side here, and then I used the same ribbon, tied it in a knot. We're going to use our our glue dots. I'm thinking so far so good with everything. We have 4 more cards, so let's hope the video holds out. You're going to stick that there, and then just use your scissors to kind of trim it however you like. And then I need some more of my gorgeous blue dots. I've been using lots of these boho blue dots. And we're going to stick those on here like so. Okay, so that was strip number 1 and 2, and we still got little pieces left over. Strip number 3. We're going to take this 4 by 12 piece, and we're going to cut it at 5 1/4. And then we want 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. This is for another card, so I'm going to set that aside. So we're going to use these pieces. Oops, I'm going to need this. Our card base is the Misty Moonlight, and it is 4 1/4 by 11. And we're going to score this at 2 3/4. And 5 1/2. All right, so we're going to fold it in half on that 5 1/2 inch score line. And then at that 2 3/8, we're going to fold it back. So it is your typical Z fold card. We're going to take this 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to put that on the inside like so. So we're going to go ahead and attach that to the inside. There we go. All right, and now we're going to take these pieces and we're going to attach those on that flap like so. Now, if you like the flowered print, you could put the flowered print up and have all the same print up. The choice is yours. I just thought I would do it a little bit different. But the flower print would be pretty faced up too. All right, so there's our pieces there. Now for the inside, we're going to take this die right here, and I took a piece of Night of Navy that was 3 by 8.5, scored it at 4 1/4. And then when you die cut this, you are going to place this on your cardstock so that you have a little piece so you can see through like that when you die cut it. You want that on your folded. So this is my fold, which was at 4 1/4, and I placed it on my cutter like that so that I could see through here. That blade, you can see the blade right there, was not going to cut this half. And what that does is it creates this little card that opens up. So then I took the white in the next size, stamped my sentiments. We're going to put that on. But your little card is going to open like this. So make sure that the hinged part is to your right. And then I have another piece for the inside. Like so. And now we're going to put that on here. So you're going to open it flap and like this. So just a different way to use those dies. I thought it was pretty cool. So now I want to center that. I can just do it like this. Like so. Open that. That's going to go like that. I got a little adhesive on my finger. The adhesive eraser comes in handy. So you flip it open and then out like so. So just a different type fun fold take on that Z fold. Don't forget your jewels. Like that. How cool is that? Gotta make sure that my fold here is a little bit better creased. So that lays a little flatter. But fold out. Cool, cool. All right, card number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. Yep, 5. The card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and it's Night of Navy. Then I have that little strip that was left over from the very first strip I cut. And then I have a piece of Night of Navy. And let's see, that should be cut at 4. So that it lines up with my paper. All right, so we're gonna mat this on there with a little bit showing on the top and a little bit showing on the bottom of that Night of Navy. Then I use that Countryside Blossoms embossing folder, and we're going to attach this piece to this embossed piece. Actually, I'm going to have to do it. Oh, I forgot my Misty Moonlight piece. It's got to be attached to that first. So we're going to attach that. And you notice I used my liquid glue with my embossed piece. Sometimes if your paper is embossed like that and you use the Stamp and Seal, it tends to rip. So a lot of times I will use my liquid glue. And if this is the first time you're watching me this month, if you place a minimum $40 order and use the host code, you'll find it below the video under show more. I am sending this gorgeous mono adhesive holder. It keeps your glue down so that it's ready to use every time you grab your glue. It's way cool. So that is with a minimum $40 order and the use of my host code, and that is for the month of June. So we're going to attach that across the top. Attach this to the front. Again, you're going to put a piece of basic white on the inside with some more designer series paper or a card stamp set of flowers, whatever you like. I've taken those dies, stamped thank you, and I just ran a strip of the dimensionals across the bottom because I'm going to bring that down here like so. So that evens it out, and then come in with some fun jewels. All right, how pretty is that? Love it. Okay, card number 6. Again, our card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and it is Night of Navy, scored at 4 1/4. Now we're going to take those 2 little pieces, and you're probably, what the heck are you going to do with 2 little pieces like that? Well, I have a strip of Misty Moonlight, and then I have another piece of the basic white with that blossoms, countryside blossoms embossing folder. We're going to take these little strips, put adhesive. This isn't going to be one of those illusion cards because you think that I used a big piece of the designer series paper, but no. I put one strip at the bottom of my strip here, and the other one at the top. And then we're going to attach this down the center of our embossed piece. Now you can use your grid paper, or I just wing it. Let's see how close I am. Spot on. It could have been over just a hair, but I don't really care. It looks good. I could lift it up since I used the liquid glue. It's a little bit more forgiving. That looks a little bit more centered. I see it is a little bit longer, so I'm going to trim that. There we go. Perfect. All right, now this is ready to go on my Night of Navy card base. I am a navy, blue, white. I love those colors together. That's going to go there. Then again, I've just die cut using those countryside blossoms, or blooms, corners, countryside corners. And then I'm going to place that across there like that and come in with those jewels. So who would have thought that those 2 little pieces, that's what I say, you can always use your little pieces, would come up with a card like that. All right, so we are up to card number 7. This one's a little bit different fun fold. It has a card base that is Misty Moonlight that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We have this little piece left over. I cut another piece of Misty Moonlight that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. Scored it at 3 1/4, and I'm going to just fold that. Okay, so this was from the very first strip towards the bottom piece. So we're going to put that on first. And that's going to go on our Misty Moonlight base here. this is folded. We're going to take this strip and attach it right here to the top. Very quick card, but just a little bit different. It's a great way to use up those little paper strips that you have. Like so. I have a piece of white that's going to go on the inside. Just like that. We're going to attach this to our card front like this. So center that. That looks pretty good. Hold that there. We have our die cut again, and this time just across the top with those mini dimensionals. No adhesive across the bottom. We're going to center that on there just like that. And this one is like, it's just a note. It's a card that you can write a little something. If you want more, you could put a piece of white on the back. You could make this a full-size card so that it opens up inside and then as well as here. You got lots of options with this card. And then we got to finish it off with those gorgeous boho blue. You know, at first, these are the new in colors. At first, I wasn't a fan, but the more I use them, the more I love these colors. So pretty. So there you have it. I have just created 7 cards from that one 12 by 12 sheet. So here they are. Let's see if we can get this on. This was number 7, and then we did this one, and then we got this one, and then this fun flip out cool card, and then we had our thinking of you, and then our just a note with a pop-up piece, and then the thank you split fun fold there. So look at that. Awesome. 7 gorgeous cards from that one 12 by 12 sheet. Now, if you need the Designer Series paper, it's the Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. Click under the video under Show More, and you will find the direct link to the paper. Now, this paper pack is on special this month. You will save 15% off select Designer Series papers from Stampin' Up! Till the end of June. So you got a little while yet, but not a lot. So you're going to want to grab that paper pack and get that discount. If you need any of the other supplies, the bundles, the dies, the embossing folder, you'll find that all under the video under Show More. If you are new to my YouTube channel, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell in the upper right hand corner so you always know when I go live. That is it for today. Thanks for stopping by.